Welcome back to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. And NFL football is officially back. We are kicking off game one of the season with the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And we are here to give you guys all the news and notes leading up to tomorrow night's game. Before we get started, got a special guest here with us tonight. She is the co-owner of the DC4L Facebook group, where most of you guys are watching from right now. Miss Amanda Foster, thank you for joining.
Of course, always. I love being here. Hey, everybody. Football, we have made it.
Yeah, we're here.
24 hours away. I'm not too excited at the moment about the game. We'll see how I feel about it as we kick off and get a little closer. The NFL did us dirty.
So as you guys know, whenever we have Amanda here, usually that means there will be a prize or a giveaway in store for us. So Amanda, let the people know what we are giving away for tonight's week one episode.
So we're actually going to give away two different things from 951 jerseys. You know, he launches us every season. He comes in season kickoff and he wants to do it big. And he has quite a big stock actually of overshown jerseys. So we're going to give away two overshown jerseys. Size small to 3XL, and we're going to see who wins. So we're going to have a trivia question first, and then I think, Marcus, we're going to do some predictions, and whoever gets closest will win the second one next week.
Yeah, so got a great show for you guys. If you want to have a chance to win one or both of these jerseys, stick with us until the end of the show, and you will get a chance to get your opportunity to win. Before we get started, as you guys know, we are fueled by Cowboys Nation. So for all of you people who are joining us from the DC4L Facebook group, thank you for joining. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you like this podcast. Your engagement helps us to grow. And also share it to your personal page, share it to your second favorite Cowboys group so that we can build the engagement for this show as well as for the DC4L group. For those of you who are not watching from DC4L, make sure that you go on Facebook, type in DC4L. Football season is underway, so there's going to be a lot of great content on that page. It's also going to be a great place to get the latest news and notes of all things Dallas Cowboys. There are going to be weekly prizes, weekly giveaways. I think there's a giveaway going right now for how many yards Dak throws for?
That's right. It is passing yards this time around. So the way our season-long giveaway, you can get multiple entries into our season-long giveaway. Every week I post a question, and you'll come in, you answer the question that's asked in the comments, and don't put anything but the answer to the question in the comments because anything else will get you disqualified just because it's a lot to go through. So you're going to comment what the answer to the question is. It's always a guess to how someone will perform in our next game. And then from there, I will announce the winner a couple days later, and you'll go into the giveaway. And it's always some kind of signed memorabilia at the end of the season. And you can get multiple entries. Last year we had someone won 4 times.
Oh, wow.
They had 4 entries into the giveaway at the very end of the season. So make sure you do it.
I see Jeff Pop is pretty active in the comments. Jeff, you have to find the comment on the DC4L Facebook group. So if you're watching from the DC4L Facebook group, go find that post and leave your comment there for a chance to win that giveaway. And we will do our giveaway at the end of the show.
We will.
So before we get started, those views are starting to grow pretty quick. I see a lot of you guys from the DC4L page are definitely joining in. For those of you watching from X and YouTube, make sure you join DC4L. I just talked about the prizes, talked about the giveaways. It's a safe space for Cowboys fans. We have a very active admin group that monitors the page. So we don't allow any bullying. We don't allow any hate speech. And we try to make sure that we don't get any spam. And if there is breaking news, we try to make sure that one of the admins is the first to break it. And when other people do comment on it, the same thing, we try not to make sure that it doesn't get too flooded with too many of the same comments. So we try to keep it as clean as possible, considering the large amount of people there. How many people in the group right now?
100 and almost 151,000
Wow.
and 92,000 on the Facebook page.
Wow.
The
That's
Facebook page reaches, I think I looked at it yesterday. I think the Facebook reach for this month was 12 million.
mm,
So
that's insane.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
And by the way, commenting on the DC4L Facebook page, you never know who will respond to you. Someone made a comment, I guess a couple months back, about Demo coming back and how he wasn't going to come back strong and a bunch of other stuff. Well, Demo put that person in his place. And it was very nicely put in his place. He goes, okay, bet.
Hmm.
So you never know who's going to comment. And the Cowboys have advertised DC4L now. There's Cowboys employees in DC4L. So you just really never know who you're talking to.
All right. So for those of you watching from DC4L, you get a chance. Make sure you go over to YouTube, type in DC4L, get those subscribers up for their YouTube page. Also find me at Bluff City Cowboys on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button as well. And once we get to 1,000 on both of those, there will be another special giveaway as well. So a lot of opportunities to win some great Cowboys gear and memorabilia. All you got to do is watch, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and keep joining us.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, let's get into it. First, let me give a couple shout outs to the people in the comments. We got Jeff Pop, who's been active since the show started. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know I'm going to butcher the first name, Mabriana Freeman. Looks like a new name, so thank you for joining. We got our regulars joining us back. William Coulter Jr., we missed you this off season. Glad to see you came back for week one. I've seen you in and out throughout the offseason. I'm glad to see you here first thing for the first episode. We got Jeff, who's always been a regular. Thank you for tuning in. We got Marty Vol talking about loving the Kenny Clark edition. We've beaten that dead horse. We're going to week one. We're not going to talk about that again until week 4, but definitely agree with you.
Jeff, sorry. I was thinking about that when the news broke. I'm sorry, Jeff. I had no clue.
Javier Lopez, thank you for joining us. Isaiah Bell Jr., appreciate you tuning in. No, we could definitely hate on the opposing team. That's not a problem at all. Russell Dyer, thank you for joining us again. Ray Dean and John Duran. John joined us, I believe, last week on one of my fantasy drafts. Brought a lot of great questions, so I'm definitely glad to see you here again, John. Also got Lee Harrison joining, another regular. Thank you for tuning in as well. All right, guys, we got a lot to cover. We're at 9 minutes. As you guys know, this is an interactive show, and also we're going to get you in and out quick. So hour, 15 minutes. Got all the content lined up. We're definitely going to get your thoughts on everything we talk about. So let's go ahead and start the show off first with our storylines. Haven't done this in quite a while, and I'm looking forward to doing it.
Yeah.
Storylines.
All right, so got a couple storylines. The first big one is we went through the injury bug all last year in this offseason, and it looks like we're starting to get back healthy at the right time. So it's been reported Trayvon Diggs as well as Tyler Guyton have both been full participants in practice this week, and they are both expected to play tomorrow night. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what both these guys can bring. This is definitely going to be a huge matchup, and we need to be as healthy as possible. So both of these guys will definitely be well-needed additions. Amanda, and everybody in the comments, which one of these two guys are you most excited about having back for this week's game? Amanda, you're muted right now. All right, we got you.
Can you hear me? You
Yep.
got me? Okay. So I'm very grateful that we're getting Diggs back. I'm grateful we're getting Guyton back. But I am concerned about which players we're getting back. So we all know that Tyler struggled a lot and he then had the injury. So I'm more excited for the hope of what Trayvon Diggs can be more than I am what we saw with Tyler Guyton last year. So I'm going Diggs that I'm happy because we need him. with
Yeah,
AJ and Devontae Smith both. Diggs is definitely the cornerstone. I just
yeah.
hope we get the Diggs we need and not the Diggs that forgets to run after George Kittle.
But yeah, I'm with you. I think both of these guys are definitely well needed additions. In terms of the Eagles, I think their interior is a lot more dangerous than the exterior of the defensive line. So having Guyton back is definitely a great addition, but that isn't what scares me about this team. What scares me about this team is those two big play wide receivers that they got.
Mm-hmm.
And if you paid attention this offseason, it was probably going to be really ugly if we had to rely on Andrew Booth or whoever they plugged in to be one of our boundary corners. So having Diggs back even at 80-90% to help guard Devontae Smith and AJ Brown is definitely a much needed addition. On top of that, it allows Deron Bland to go back in the nickel, which
Where
he
he,
plays best.
yes, that's where he's the best. So,
Yeah.
do we know if Diggs is going to be on a pitch count?
You know, there were reports that he could be, but they didn't say for sure. I would assume he probably would be just because of the nature of the position. It really depends. To me, it depends on how the game goes, personally.
Well,
If so, yeah, we'll see. William Coulter saying all these first round picks need to produce.
I want to remind everyone, look, Tyler Guyton switched positions. The Cowboys switched his position. So last year, you kind of have to look at it as a learning year. And then he got hurt. Tyler historically played right tackle in college, and they moved him to left tackle, which it's not an easy, it's not something you just easily do. So I don't want to judge too harshly on how he did. I mean, we had a terrible year altogether. Tyler Guyton didn't make or break our season. Dak going down pretty much solidified where we were. So I'm hopeful, and there's really no better way to find out where you're going to land than going up against Philly. So
Yeah. And Russell Dyer, I did not read your comment when I made that statement. I guess it's just great minds thinking alike. And you also said he needs to be right tackle. Well, the way Nathan Thomas looked during preseason, we may be getting our wishes next year. We'll just see how things shake up going into this year and how Terrence Steele does.
we need
All right.
Terrence Steele to be the player he is at the end of the season. So
Thank you for joining us, William Wiggins. We've only been live 14 minutes right now. We just touched on our first storyline, so you have not missed anything. All right, so let's get back into the storylines. We got another one that we have to talk about. News broke earlier this week that, speaking of Deron Bland, he just got paid, got a top 6 at his position salary. I believe it was 4 years, $92 million extension. So we lost Micah, but that opened up a lot of money. And the Cowboys moved quickly to secure one of their other major defensive pieces. So, Amanda, how did you feel about them getting Bland signed? Because I know all offseason we were kind of thinking he's probably playing his last season. They brought in Elam as a possible replacement. It may be Bland or Diggs. So how do you feel about him signing? And do you still feel like it's Bland or Diggs, or do you think opening up that Micah money allows us to keep both?
The ability now that the Cowboys have with Micah Parsons' contract is basically equal to 4 or 5 different contracts. The money that Micah was commanding really gives us the opportunity to sign. I mean, we've seen it already. I was so happy to see, what was it, a day later, 2 days later, Deron got paid. That told me that Jerry said, okay, he's gone. Jerry's moved forward. Deron Bland is, I wouldn't go as, okay, he has his qualms, but he's solid. Do I think that I want to see how Diggs plays this year before I go making bold predictions that, Diggs won't be here next year, because we could save quite a bit of money with Diggs if we cut him. But I was happy to see Deron play. I mean, he has played well, with the exception of what I think he was missed 6 games with that foot injury.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 6. That's it. He's been pretty durable. And he really is a cornerstone of the defense. So I was happy to see him get paid. The one that didn't make sense was who got paid today. I was real confused about that, but
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I didn't put that one up because it's such a small number, but I can I agree with you, but I hope that means we're going to emphasize the run more. Because if you're paying for a fullback,
you better run it.
you better run the ball and have him
Amen.
doing a lot of blocking. Because that's more than league minimum money.
Agreed. They have to really like the guy. We barely see any of him. I just don't I didn't understand, but I'm glad they both got paid. Watching Jerry now, I keep reminding myself every time I think about the Micah situation, man, we're going to sign Tyler Smith. We might sign George Pickens. We've got these really awesome draft picks. So I keep reminding myself that the future looks bright.
Yeah.
So
I see we got William Coulter in the comments saying he's not worth that much money, and then Jeff Pop saying it's a friendly contract. Let's take a look at the contract really quick just so everybody can have an idea of exactly what these numbers mean. So first of all, it's a 4-year extension, which means it's a 5-year deal. So we got him this year, and we got him 4 years after this year. $22 million signing bonus. I was seeing people comparing Bland's contract to Sauce Gardner's, and Jeff talks about this all the time. I do too. When you're looking at a contract, the only things that matter are how much is guaranteed and what that signing bonus is.
Amen.
And while the numbers on the face look similar, Bland's signing bonus is almost half of what Sauce Gardner's is, as well as the total guarantees. So you look at this contract over the next 5 years. He's only counting $1 million against the cap next year. Years 2 and 3, he's only counting $12 million against the cap. I mean, that's
great.
That's a great bargain for a guy who finished top 5 in the MVP race in his last fully healthy season.
And who holds a league record. I mean, This is a record-breaking defensive back. I see people get so upset about this contract. I don't agree. I thought this was a great contract, and it's structured very, very well.
Right.
In comparison, it's kind of like you and Marcus and I were talking about this. Certain players, I don't even have to name them because this makes sense. They're getting paid such a big amount of money, they're never going to see the end of their contract. This is a contract we can see through. This is a very well-structured contract. We can see it through. And I'll go ahead and say it. Like you look at Micah Parsons' contract, the likelihood of him playing through year 4 on that deal is pretty slim to none because of the way the contract is structured.
Right.
This contract, he can play all the way through. And I'm seeing a change in Jerry Jones because this is one of the better contracts I've seen structured by Jerry in a while.
Yeah. When I look at this contract, the crazy thing I notice is not one of his years is more than what the franchise tag is.
Yep.
Normally you would expect one of those years, especially the last one, to be like a really big balloon. So you might get some 12s, and then the last one might be 30, 35.
Done early. This is what happens when you do contracts early. So, Jerry, learn your lessons.
I agree.
So
yeah, hopefully we see a lot more of this. Getting guys locked up early. Like Tony Romo's, absolutely right, William Wiggins.
I want to see Tyler. I wanted Tyler to be done so bad. And I know people aren't going to like this. I hope they put a first-round tender on Brandon Aubrey and let someone come biting. Look, hey, I love Brandon Aubrey, but look, you might end up with 3 first-round picks next year because there are some teams who might come take a nibble of Brandon Aubrey for a first because he's so reliable. So.
Right, and I could definitely see a team like Baltimore, who just lost their kicker, who's been one of the most reliable kickers in the past 5 years. They don't care about first-round picks. They're picking last every year anyway. So that's definitely a team that we could pay attention to when we get to that point in the offseason. So, yeah, I think it's a great deal.
Me too.
you can essentially have your cornerback room completely locked up. Your starters for the next 2 years, if you consider Elam a starter, and then if you consider Revel a starter, you've got your cornerback room locked up for the next 4 years.
Is Kyer, is he on? Does he have anything left on his contract? I didn't look. I thought he was on the last year of his contract. I might be wrong. Because I thought the same thing about Kenny Clark, then I realized he still got 3 years left.
Yeah, he does. Let me check Elam's contract really quick, because I thought he may have had this year and next year, but I may be thinking about the 5th year option that they declined. Yeah. He 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they declined his 5th year option. So yeah, he's a free agent after this year.
So we can't pick it up, right?
No, once that team rejects it,
Okay.
it's gone.
Got it.
But I mean, you can still sign him as a free agent.
I think he wouldn't. I mean, I hope he plays well. He's really. I know people don't. Marcus, how do you feel about having so many people in a contract you're playing that you bring in as free agents? Like, I know people hate the 1 year deal, but I will say this. I'm excited about some of these players that come in because they want to go out and earn their next big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You typically get the best from them.
Yeah, I love it, especially when you trade a 5th round pick for a guy. Same thing with George Pickens. If he balls out, we sign him for a deal. We've got a great player for the next 4 years.
Right.
If he balls out and we don't sign him, we gave up a 4th, we get a 3rd for him. So, I mean, it's a win-win either way. And we get a year of cheap production from them.
Right.
So to me, it's win-wins all around. I'm glad to see that they finally started using those draft picks to bring in quality players that can actually contribute instead of inexperienced backup quarterbacks. So I'm definitely excited to see what Elam and Murray and guys like that can bring to the team.
William, look, I didn't put makeup on tonight. Okay. I told Marcus before I got done, I've had such a day. My husband's sick. Like, it's just been a crazy day. So I'm just like extra slunk down. So we're talking football, but we're not paying attention. It's been a day over here. Okay.
I see we got Charlie joining us with Establish the Pass. Thank you for
What's
tuning
up,
in, Charlie.
Every time I see those certain words pop up, Mutta, I know Charlie's popped into the chat.
Exactly.
He's here.
All right, guys. So early in the season, not a lot of storylines to talk about, but as the season progresses, we'll definitely have a lot more. Let's go ahead and go into the meat of the show, and let's talk about some of these key matchups that we can look forward to in this week's game.
Key matchups.
So a lot of these key matchups are going to center around the new guys. So you're going to see a lot of draft picks, a lot of guys traded for, a lot of free agents. I feel like, to me, this is the biggest key matchup in this game.
I'm excited about this matchup.
You got 1st round pick Tyler Booker against arguably top 3 to top 5 defensive tackle in the league, who's made his presence felt quickly, and Jalen Carter. These guys know each other very well. I believe they may have played against each other in college, Georgia and Alabama. I don't think. Has Carter been in the league more than 2 years? Is this his 3rd year?
I think this is year 3, right?
Okay, so yeah, they probably did play against each other in college then, Alabama and Georgia. Booker's been pretty much saying this is the matchup that he's looking for, and he gets it week 1. So I talked about at the beginning of the show, I'm more afraid of the interior than I am the exterior when it comes to this defensive line. So there's no bigger matchup than Tyler Booker versus Jalen Carter.
Tyler's got big shoes to fill. You know, it's not easy to step into Zach Martin's shoes. So Cowboys Nation is relentless when it comes to things, but I am very excited. We didn't see a lot of Tyler. Did we see any of Tyler in preseason? I keep trying to think. Did he play one series?
He played a quarter.
Okay.
And he looked good. I mean, it was up and down, but it was nothing bad.
I think this is good. And he said he did an interview today, and he said, I am ready. He said, I want to show Cowboys Nation that I was the right pick. I think that was his exact words. And I like a player that wants to go out and show you, hey, you didn't make a mistake on me. So
yeah, so everybody saying in the comments, we're gonna see what he's made of week 1. Zach was on the downside last year. He played and he looked good. William Wiggins asked, who are the Eagles' defensive ends? So they have neither one of them are household names.
no.
The Eagles run a lot of 3-4.
Yeah.
And they run kind of like a 3-4 under like the Cowboys used to run back when we had DeMarcus Lawrence. So you're really going to see a lot of their 3 defensive tackles. One of them's going to be playing kind of like a 6 technique, almost head up with the tackle. And then on the other side, you're going to see Nolan Smith Jr., another Georgia guy, who's going to be kind of lined up in like a wide 9 against Tyler Guyton. So he's going to be rushing out really wide. But in terms of defensive ends, there's nobody that really scares me on that team.
Who did they lose? I know they lost a couple. How big name? Brandon. Did Brandon retire? I'm trying to remember.
Brandon Graham did retire. And then, of course, 2 years ago, they lost Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, he went to the Jets, and then he threw a fit.
They also lost Josh Sweat in free agency.
That's right. Josh went where? San Francisco?
I don't remember. But yeah, thanks, Chris Woods.
Thank you, Chris. I don't know. I think this will be a great matchup. So
yeah. Sean Hughes coming in a little bit pessimistic. We'll get your prediction at the end of the show, Sean Hughes. Dallas was embarrassed twice last year. I don't see that change, and I hate to watch this disaster.
Oh, man.
We had a lot of injuries last year. We had I believe the second most players on injury reserve of any team. And then one game we did have
9-3.
Cooper Rush.
Sorry, 9-3. I just want to remind everybody it's 9-3. That's Dak's record against the Philadelphia Eagles when he's healthy. 9-3. Yeah. And I'm not saying we're going to win. I'm just saying 9-3. They do not play. Dak rises to the challenge, and I think raising that banner tomorrow night is really going to light a fire under some of our players. And I know so I've gained connections through Marcus. Everybody knows the fan of the year thing. I've gained some connections, right? And I have heard this is what they're saying about what's going in the locker room. Everyone says we're going to suck without Micah. We're going to prove them wrong. So that defense is fired up. They want to go out there and show that they don't need Micah to be successful. So I think that's going to help too.
Yeah, I agree. I hope Dallas run offense has improved. We'll find out tomorrow night because we're all kind of anxiously waiting on that one, and we'll talk about that later in the show as well. Let's see. Did I miss any comments? Jeff says, I think we attacked their linebackers this game. I mean, that's always a weakness for the Eagles. They historically have not had a good linebacker core.
I thought Gainwell stayed. I swore he was still the backup to Saquon.
No, Kenneth Gainwell's with the Steelers.
Oh, he left? Okay.
Yeah.
Why did I think that? It's okay. It's been a day, so that didn't surprise me either.
All right, let's go to our next key matchup, and that is the new guy. Made the trade for Kenny Clark. And
Lunatic.
We got the Lunatic in the building. Thank you for joining the Lunatic. So, yeah, we got Kenny Clark. Jerry Jones came out and said, we haven't stopped the run in a long time. If we trade Micah, we got to get a big defensive tackle who can help start the run. Kenny Clark hasn't been great against the run, but he's definitely an average to above average player. He's got a ton of experience, and he can give you some pass rush. So I think he's going to be a really good addition in this week's game. And he's going against Landon Dickerson, who's been dealing with a knee injury all offseason. He had a scope about 3 weeks ago. He's coming back early to play in this game. So I think there's going to be some opportunities there. And just like the lunatic said, you got to test Dickerson and see how healthy he is. Amanda, we haven't talked about this, but outside of Micah, how did you feel about getting Kenny Clark back as a part of that trade?
I think we took the cornerstone of the Packers defense and kind of took him with their next 2 first-round picks. If you look at their defensive line, he was the, what would you call it? The foreman of that line. He was the leader in the locker room. I look at the line for the Packers and I look at our line, and I truly feel we had the better line, but now we've traded one of the pieces, right? But we brought back someone that's going to be successful. If you go back now, look, barring last year, now look, Kenny's an older guy, but he has played statistically better than anyone else on the interior of our line when it comes to the run. So I was happy to get it back. At first, I heard it was just 2 firsts. Remember, Marcus? Because I was mad. I was an angry person in the group chat. But then I saw we got it. First, it broke. Remember, how'd they break it, Marcus? It was like, and one player.
Another player.
And one player. They didn't tell nobody who it was. And it was like, then it was one defensive player. And everyone's like, who the heck is it? And then it broke that it was Kenny, and I got much happier. I still think we won that trade.
Yeah.
So
now, I see a comment like Jeff Pop says he's on the downside of his career. That may be true.
Yeah.
But he's still a major improvement to what we already have. So I feel like Cowboys fans feel like if we don't get it like the best of the best of the best, it's a loss.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's all about improving your team. So if Mozzie and Jay Toya are both a 2 and Kenny Clark's a 6 or a 7, even though he's on the downside of his career, that's a major upgrade. And I feel like that's kind of what it is. Kenny Clark's, he's not a 10. I mean, he did make a Pro Bowl in 2023. He could go back to Pro Bowl form. He could not. Last year, he had a solid year. If he can give us what he had last year, that's a major addition to this defense. And on top of what Amanda said, he's an anchor and he's an on-field leader. Seems to be a smart guy, seems to be all about football. On the field, if you look at him play, he understands leverage and he understands how to play the run to get to the quarterback, which is something we haven't had at defensive tackle in Tyrone Crawford.
Yeah.
That's that almost 10 years ago now.
It's been a while.
So, yeah. I don't think he's going to be our savior, but I definitely think he's going to be a major improvement. The lunatic said Clark injured his toe in the Brazil game, played through it late in the season. You can tell Clark was injured. Again, injured Clark still looked much better than Mozzie. So you're getting an upgrade no matter what negatives you say about Kenny Clark. He's a major upgrade to what we already have.
I agree.
Russell Dyer talking about the foot injury last year. Jeff Pop saying still can't believe we have Mozzie. Well, luckily we don't have to rely on Mozzie. That's the thing I love about this trade more than anything.
This is kind of Mozzie's got to Mozzie either proves himself this season or he's gone. I mean, there's just no reason to keep him next year. So I don't see any need. So with Kenny, if he solidifies himself and he fits right in, Mozzie's probably packing his bags.
Yep. All right, let's go to our next key matchup. Another first-year guy. Got George Pickens. We didn't have him last year. Jalen Tolbert had a really good game against Quinyon Mitchell, despite what Eagles fans want you to believe. So Again, we just talked about the Mozzie and Kenny Clark major upgrade. This is another major upgrade than what we had last year.
Yeah.
So now they can't bracket CeeDee Lamb, or they can, but now they can really be they can really pay on the edge with a guy like George Pickens on the outside next to or opposite CeeDee Lamb.
Right. Hey, Marcus, I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. So yeah, like Jeff said, going back to the Mozzie, if Mozzie was half a DT, we don't make this trade. I agree. There were reports that the Cowboys were talking to the Panthers about getting Derrick Brown. So that really lets you know that they were desperate to find a defensive tackle in this Micah trade. John Duran says Pickens can make some unbelievable catches and fights for the ball. He's definitely a great one-on-one matchup guy. Again, if they try to bracket CeeDee Lamb, you're going to leave George Pickens one-on-one with Quinyon Mitchell. If you guys watch the Eagles and the Bengals in the preseason, that was not pretty for Quinyon Mitchell. If you watched last year with Jalen Tolbert, even though we got beat pretty bad, it was not pretty for Quinyon Mitchell. So he's definitely going to get tested this week. I think I read that the Eagles are going to start trying to let him travel with receivers. So I think Cooper DeJean's going to be the slot guy on Lamb. And I think they may let Quinyon Mitchell travel with George Pickens because their other cornerback is 5'9" Adoree Jackson. So I think you're going to see this matchup no matter where George Pickens goes throughout the game. And I agree with you, Jeff. I think it's barbecue chicken also. Jeff Pop saying, I think this is the two best receivers Dak has had. On paper, it definitely is, but we always got to see it played on the field. So that still remains to be seen. Pickens definitely has an opportunity to have a coming out party this week. The Lunatic brings up a great statistic. Last season, he was the best tight window catch percentage leader. And regardless of what fans say about Dak, the stats say Dak is a very good tight window thrower. Again, Quinyon Mitchell is probably going to travel because they're going to bracket CD. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one opportunities. So I think we're going to see some 50-50 balls, and hopefully George Pickens comes down with them. Now, I'm not saying Mitchell's not a good corner. He's going to get tested. That I'll say. Amanda, what do you think about this matchup?
So I think this is Georgia's welcome to the Cowboys game. And typically when a player like George Pickens shows up somewhere, so I think he's really going to show out. I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Mitchell's a great corner. I think that this is going to be more of a challenge for him than typically it was when we had a Brandon Cooks we have a very, very strong wide receiver duo now. I would say it's almost equally yoked to the Philadelphia duo. So I'm excited about it. I think George is going to win. I really do. I expect George to be the leader when it comes to this matchup in particular.
Yeah. Now, Amanda just brought up a great point about their equally yoked to the Eagles receiving core. Let's talk about our last key matchup of the game, and that is A.J. Brown versus Kyer Elam. Now, watching the Eberflus defense, they do not let their corner switch sides. So whatever side Diggs is on, Elam's going to stay on the opposite side. And I expect them to move A.J. Brown to line up against Elam to try to take advantage of what they would consider the lesser corner. So this one is definitely going to be a major battle in regards to the Eagles' success, because Diggs is in Smith's head. After that game, where he was jumping the routes and he got the pick six. I don't know if you've noticed, but Devonta Smith has not been the same whenever Diggs lines up on him. Even if you go back and watch some of the old games when we had Gilmore, they made sure Diggs was on Smith, and Smith was pretty much non-existent.
I think Kyer has a challenge up against him, but another player who's, change of scenery. George Pickens said it himself, change of scenery. Sometimes that's all you need. So I think that it will be just fine as well on this matchup. And AJ is coming off that hamstring. I've heard he's also on a pitch count. I think they've kind of rushed to get him back because Devontae Smith also was questionable to start the week off. So I think that we're going to have the upper hand due to injury when it comes to at least the wideout situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Lunatic brings up a great point. They have film on how to stop Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, but there's no film on Shoddy. And we'll get to that point in a second as we go to our next segment, which is X Factors. So with X Factors, I try to choose players or people outside of the regular all-stars who I think can have a major influence in the outcome of the game. So tonight I have 4 X factors that I have selected. Once again, we're kind of following a similar thing. It's going to be people that are new to the team. So your comment, the Lunatic, is a great lead in to who I have as our first X factor. And that's Coach Schottenheimer. Just like you said, and I don't know if I know you didn't see my notes, so we're just on the same wavelength. Nobody knows what to expect from Schottenheimer. He's given us hints as to how this offense should perform, what they want to emphasize, but they kept it close to the vest in the preseason. At least we hope they did. Hopefully that's not how they come out in the regular season, but we don't know. So Coach Schottenheimer and the scheme that they implement is going to have a major factor in this game because, like you said, the Lunatic, nobody knows what to expect. Amanda, what are you most looking forward to from Schottenheimer in this game, in this play calling?
I don't know what to. None of us know what to expect. But
exactly.
When I think of Shoddy, I think of a man who's been skipped over time and time again, not really considered to be that guy. So I'm just excited to see him come out and really also. This whole team's full of underdogs trying to prove everybody wrong. So I'm really excited, and he's really developed this culture with this team and how these people care about each other. And I'm excited to see how that culture transitions to the field.
Yeah.
I want to see what Shoddy has created transition. And I also hope he runs the ball. I know he liked to run the ball when he's had his, turns at OC. So I just want to see how he utilizes the players that he was given, because he was given an opportunity Mike McCarthy never got. Like, Jerry went out and got basically whatever shot he wanted, it seemed like, in the offseason. So I really want to see. He's got the pedigree. He has the genetic pedigree to be phenomenal. So let's do it.
Yeah. So we're at 45 minutes. Thank you guys who've been watching with us. The views have stayed pretty consistent throughout the show. So after we go through our X factors, we will do our first jersey giveaway before we end the show. So make sure you guys can continue to stick with us because we will be doing that jersey giveaway in the next 5 minutes. The Lunatic asked the question, how aggressive will Shoddy be on 4th downs? I say if it is the first game, let's go. Again, we don't know. We'll all find out tomorrow night, and that's what makes him an X factor. I see a couple of people put Turpin. I mean, I could put Turpin every week, honestly. So I'm going to save that one for later in the season. And again, I'm going to continue to go with the same thing. New guys, we don't know what to expect. So my next X factor is Javonte Williams. I just talked about Shoddy didn't show us any of his play calling this offseason. we have not seen Javonte Williams get a snap of NFL football this offseason.
Mm-mm.
He is the de facto bell cow, and we have no clue what to expect. He could tap into North Carolina, Javonte Williams, where he's trucking guys and hitting the sideline. He could turn into last year's Denver Javonte Williams that looked a step slow. But he should be fully healthy. So we'll all find out tomorrow what we have in terms of Javonte Williams as a running back. And then going back to Schottenheimer, we expect to see them run the ball a little bit more efficiently. And he does fit what they look for in a running back. So Amanda, what do you think about Javonte Williams? Like, what do you expect tomorrow night? It's going to lead into over unders, but just without giving numbers, what do you expect to see from him?
Without numbers, I'm thinking. Hold on.
Like, do you think he'll be productive?
I do think he'll be productive. In fact, I just hope we see more bell cow than by committee.
Yeah, I agree.
Because did you see the depth chart? Did you see how they have it structured? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw they had Jaden Blue as the third running back. Amanda, I think your screen froze.
Oh, did it?
Okay, you're back now.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the. Oh, did you already get it? That comment?
Which one? Justin Robinson's?
Yeah. No, the tickets.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I just want to see. I want to see a true bell cow. We've tried the committee thing by before. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I want to see true. Let him run. Yeah. And we know he can be successful. I just think that he made Sean Payton mad.
I agree. Yeah. And I said this before right after we signed him, because the fans were like, what type of running back is this? And he didn't have a good season. Sean Payton likes a certain type of running back. If you go look at Javonte Williams last year, they drafted Estime from Notre Dame, a 240-pound back. They had Javonte Williams, who was like 220, and then they had this kid who's a converted wide receiver named Jaleel McLaughlin, who's 185 pounds. McLaughlin started the last 6 games of the season last year. You look at what they did in the draft. I love R.J. Harvey, but R.J. Harvey's 5'8", $195.
Huh?
That's what Sean Payton likes. You can't knock him for it. And then you hear, of all the teams that give Deuce Vaughn a workout, Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos gave him a workout this week.
Sorry.
Sean Payton has a type. Javonte Williams was never going to get a chance to succeed in Denver.
Not at all.
Now, I did almost put Ferguson as an X factor, but I wanted to try to stick with the theme of first-year guys and guys coming back, draft picks, things of that nature. Let's go to the next one, and that is Dante Fowler. He wouldn't have been an X factor at first, but after trading Micah, he's your de facto pass rusher. He had 10.5 sacks last year with the Commanders. He's been a perennial 6+ sack guy, but now he's been thrown into the role of being your designated pass rusher on third down. How do you think he's going to do in that role, Amanda?
I think he's going to do great. He did great last year in Washington. I think he solidified the thought process with Jerry with trading Micah Parsons, because you one that had 10.5. What Micah have 12?
12, yeah.
12. So I mean, 1.5 off. I think that he's going to play I think he'll do well. I think he'll have 1.5 sacks tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's my guess. I think I think this team's going to come out really motivated. I really do.
The last time we played the Eagles, even though we got beat 34-7, we had 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Now, Micah did have 2 and Overshone had 2. But we did have 5 sacks against that team. Does Fowler now move around to find the Philly scrub, hit their right guard? I think we're going to give Osa that shot on the inside. Kenny Smith, not Kenny. I'm thinking of Kenny. I don't know who I'm thinking about. Kenny Clark is a pretty good pass rusher for a nose tackle. We're going to have some NASCAR packages where you throw a Nealon inside, a Sam Williams inside. I think we're going to have guys who can take advantage of those opportunities. I think Fowler's probably going to be stuck on the outside. And then we talk about our last X factor, and that's Kenneth Murray, who can rush the passer when given the opportunity. Former first-round pick. Haven't talked about him at all this offseason. I don't think he played a game either.
No.
So we don't know what to expect from him in this scheme as well. So definitely great against the run, solid interior pass rusher, has the opportunity to give us a lot in this defense. Anything in particular you like about Kenneth Murray as a player, Amanda? Anything you want to toss out there?
He came from Buffalo, right? Is he from Buffalo? Was it who he traded with to get him Buffalo? Or no?
He was with the Titans, and then he was with... No, we got Elam from Buffalo.
Elam from Buffalo, Florida.
Kenneth Murray was with the Titans.
Okay, the Titans. I knew one of them was from Buffalo. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and act like I know a lot about Kenneth Murray because I don't. And I didn't get to see him in preseason, which is very intriguing. When you started talking about how we didn't see these people in preseason, it really stuck to me that we're rolling out into Philly, and Philly has absolutely no clue what's coming.
That's what makes them. That's what makes them X factors to me. Yeah. Philly has no clue. Well, we have no clue.
We have no clue. And I was sitting here really, I'm like, wow, if there's one way to go into the Super Bowl champs house and walk away with a victory is to roll in there with, like, what we have on offense, but at the same time, you really don't, because you have a new coach. Yeah. You don't know what shot he's going to do. And then on defense, I mean, Eberflus, yes, everybody knows Eberflus, but he hadn't been a DC in a minute. So I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm actually getting a little bit more excited sitting here thinking about it. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. I have no clue what's going to happen with this team tomorrow night.
Yeah. So, and that's exactly why I wanted to go with this thing with the X factors, because I looked at the same thing and I was like, we haven't seen any of these guys in a preseason game what they do. So nobody knows what to expect. They're legitimate X factors. They could be great. They could be terrible. We don't know. We'll all find out tomorrow night.
Ooh. Dang, I'm excited.
All right, guys. We're at the 55-minute mark. We are down to our last 2 segments. We have over, under, and then we'll close it out with you guys' game predictions. But before we get to that, we are going to do our first giveaway. And Amanda, again, for the people who just joined us or recently joined us, let them know what the prize is for tonight.
So this is a prize from 951 Jerseys. That's Justin Robinson. You see him in the chat. He is constantly making sure that we always have awesome prizes, especially to kick off the season. So he's blessed us with 2 DeMarvion Overshone jerseys. Now, full transparency, they are 13 because, of course, Demo changed his number right in the middle. So they're number 13 Overshone jerseys, but they are sweet, and we have 2 of them. And whoever wins, message me. I'll make sure I get your info with your size and get it over to Justin. And if you need jerseys, like high-quality replica jerseys, hit up Justin. He is the official jersey guy in DC for L. I've known him, oh, my goodness. This is showing how long I've been doing this. 6 years, I think, since 2019. So you don't have to worry about it when you spend your money with Justin, and they're great, great quality.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting me one this season. I need to get me a Tyler Booker jersey. I like to get those offensive line jerseys, so I'll probably get a Booker and a Smith.
Yes.
Now that I feel like he's finally going to sign.
I hope he signs. I've got bad luck. Do you know who I have the most in my closet right now? Who?
Dez?
No, of course not. Micah Parsons. My favorite jersey is a Micah jersey. I have that black, really sweet black jersey
Mhm.
with the bright blue. Man, I'm so upset about that. I gotta get more.
Now, speaking of is this a Thanksgiving jersey?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's the throwback Thanksgiving jersey. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, for you guys joining us, we used to do the randomizer, but we got a couple of complaints, Jeff. So, we decided to do something different. So, we are giving the prize away with a trivia question. Now, we do have a couple of rules before we give the prize away. We do ask that if you win, you must contact Amanda within 72 hours. If Amanda does not hear from you by Sunday, we will be giving the jersey away again next week. We do ask that a Cowboy fan wins it. So we don't want to see someone in the chat who's a fan of another team and they do something stupid with this great jersey that a Cowboys fan would appreciate. We do ask that you follow DC4L Facebook and YouTube channel, as well as the Bluff City Cowboys YouTube channel. So let's go ahead. Let's get into our trivia question. I think it's one that's been recycled, but I think it's a great question. And it ties into Micah Parsons that has been kind of a topic of discussion. So tonight's trivia question is, who was the last Cowboys player to get double-digit sacks in a season? The first person that comments correctly will win the jersey. First, the last Cowboys player other than Micah, let me preface that, the last player other than Micah to get double-digit sacks in a season. All right. I'm watching the comments to see who responds. Jeff says D-Law. D-Law is not the correct answer. I knew that would be the first one we saw. D-Ware. No, you don't have to go that far back, the lunatic. That's 2 strikes. Jeff Pop. DeMarcus Lawrence. No, that is incorrect. Everybody's saying D-Law, and that is not the right answer. I guess this was a good question. The last Cowboys player to get double-digit sacks in a season. No, it is not Randy Gregory. It's not Dorrance Armstrong. Wow. I thought somebody would have got this one by now. Should I give a hint?
I don't know. I'm surprised no one's got it yet. Y'all make me proud because that means you're not doing something, and I appreciate that.
No, it's not Dante Fowler, and it's not Osa. We're just going through the gambit. Not David Irvin, not Van Der Esch. Mark Cruz. No, it's not that far back.
My goodness.
It's not that far back. It's been the past 5 years. It is a defensive end. It's not Dante Fowler. Fowler may have gotten close, but he did not get double-digit sacks. The last, you got to say a name, Jack Meeker. It's not Fowler. It's not DeMarcus Ware. It's been the last 5. I don't know who the snake is. I need a real name. I apologize. The snake could be the right answer, but I do not know who that is. It's not Jeremy Mincy, Jeff. The past 5 years. Got arrested recently. I don't know who that is. The last Cowboys player to get double-digit sacks in a season. He was only here for. You got to give me a name. You can throw out who it is or where it is. You got to give me a name. In the past 5 years, you got to give me a name, Jack Meeker. I don't know what that is. You still have a chance to put the name in there because nobody else has put it. Jeff Cost. Are you saying your name, Jeff Pop? Jeff Coat. The past 5 years, the last Cowboys player to get double-digit sacks in a season, other than Micah. I'm amazed, Amanda. I'm really amazed. Do you know the answer?
I think so.
Okay.
In
The
fact,
Lunatic and Jack have been on the right track. I
I'm
just need to
pretty
get the
sure I
name.
know. Like, I'm pretty sure I know who it was
I
because
think the
he was
Lunatic is
here
just
for
giving
like.
out hints because he doesn't want to get the prize.
I'm thinking
And
that's what it is.
Jeff finally got the answer
I'll
right.
say
It is
yes,
Robert
Quinn, right?
Quinn,
Yep.
traded from the Miami Dolphins. He played there for 2 seasons, and then he went off to Chicago. So congratulations, Jeff. You did get the answer correctly. It was Robert Quinn, the last Cowboys player other than Micah to get double-digit sacks in the season. Jack, you had plenty of chances to say it. You had a ton of chances. So congratulations, Jeff. Racking up on the prizes. So you know the routine. Contact Amanda. She'll get you in contact with 951 jerseys, and they'll get that jersey right out to you. But don't worry, Jack. You do get another opportunity to win that second jersey at the end of the show. All right, guys. So let's go into our next segment. It's one of my favorite segments of the show. It's a segment that we call Over Under, where I will give you guys a statistic and you guys tell me whether you think that player goes over or under on that stat. So let's go ahead and get into over under.
Over under.
All right, so Saquon Barkley tore the league up last year. This is the only Eagles over under I'm doing. The rest of them are Cowboys related. Saquon Barkley tore the league up last year. Our run game last year was suspect. Over under 100 yards rushing for Saquon Barkley. Another reason I like to do this is because I like to gauge how the fans feel about what they expect in the game. So if everybody says over, I'll kind of know everybody thinks the Eagles are going to run all over us. If you say under, that'll make me believe you feel like the defense may improve a little bit on the run game. All right, Jeff Pop says under. The Lunatic says under. We let Jay Hurts beat us. We don't let Barkley do it. If I'm not mistaken, the last time we played the Eagles, Barkley only had 60 yards rushing.
That's correct.
So it's not unrealistic to believe that we can stop Saquon Barkley. We do know him very well from his days with the Giants. So we'll see what happens. We got one over, Mark Cruz. Thank you for joining. Russell Dyer says a little bit over. Then we got a couple of unders. Jeff agreeing with the Lunatic, saying we gonna make Jalen beat us. Ashley Rollins Jacob says over. Thank you for joining us tonight. Looks like a new name.
Welcome.
Love the dog in the comment in the profile picture. Then we got a couple of unders. Shag Ward looks like another new name. Thank you for joining as well.
I'm loving the enthusiasm.
I am too.
Hey, let's
J.
go.
Rafa Palacios. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for joining us. Looks like another new name. Hope you guys continue to come back and join us every week. All right, Amanda, what are your thoughts? Over or under 100 yards?
I'm going to say something just to agitate you.
Okay.
Push.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I had to. I haven't said it. It's been a long time since I got a good one in there. Okay. Man, this is a tricky one. I am honestly, this is going to sound terrible, but I could not believe Saquon Barkley got through a whole season without being injured.
That's a good point.
And now look, and that's a lot to credit to how terrible New York was when he was there. I do think it's either going to be a little over or a little under.
Okay.
So I'm going to go a little bit under just to really hit the enthusiasm, a little under. And I'm talking like 85 to 95 yards.
I'm leaning under only because, for one, the last time we saw them play against the Cowboys, we did hold them to under 100 yards. And then number two, the Eagles have done some shuffling on their offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So they had Big Mekhi Becton last year, who revitalized his career, made a Pro Bowl after being a first-round bust. He's gone. Landon Dickerson coming off an injury. I think he rushed himself back because they don't like their backup options. So the interior of that line is going to be a little bit shaky. And just like Mark Cruz says, if we can stop the big runs, I think we got a really good shot at keeping him under 100 yards. Now, he can affect the passing game as well, so we definitely got to watch that also. All right, so we talked about the Eagles running game. Let's talk about our running game a little bit. I posted this one in the DC4L group today just to get the thoughts before the show. We talked about this earlier in the show. We have not seen Javonte Williams on the football field. He was coming off an injury with Denver. They didn't really use him last year. We don't know what the scheme's going to look like. We don't know if the offensive line is going to gel with a rookie and Tyler Booker, or Tyler Guyton missing the entire offseason with an injury. The last time we played the Eagles was with Rico Dowdle, and I think he had 50 yards. And that was after really getting his rhythm. The first game, I think he had like 7 yards. I think we only had like 30 yards total rushing the first time we played him. So, over under 40 yards rushing for Javonte Williams. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay, Jeff says over. The lunatic being optimistic over our defense will pass early to run late, assuming we're up in the game. I assume run behind Booker to get the flow going. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. According to Jerry, that's what we're working on. That stop the run plays. See what we talked about. Okay, got a lot of over. So you guys are pretty optimistic tonight about at least these stats.
I agree, though. I actually think, okay, so I'm excited to see Tyler Smith, Tyler Biotish, not Tyler Biotish, my goodness, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Smith. And wait, there's so many dang Tylers. Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith, and Cooper Beebe. Can you imagine if we would have kept Tyler Biotish? It'd been like the line of Tylers. But that interior on our offensive line, I am really, really, really excited to see. I think it's going to be very, very, very strong. And I think there's going to be a lot of runs, and Javonte likes running up the middle. That's so true. That is his bread and butter, and he's got the line to do it.
Jacqueline Massenberg definitely looks like a new name. So thank you for joining us tonight. We got a lot of overs. There's actually no unders in here. So
wow.
We'll see if this optimism translates over to the game predictions. I forgot. Shout out to Marlo. He's Jeff's brother, another diehard Cowboys fan. Thank you for joining us tonight, Marlo. The Lunatic O-line nicknames the Bulldozers. We'll see if they earn that name tomorrow night. Jay Rafa definitely says 40 plus over. All right, so we talked about Javonte Williams. Amanda brought up earlier in the show that she wants to see them use him as a bell cow.
Yeah.
You think letting him get in the rhythm will help him be more productive?
I look at what we did with Rico last year, and we really wasted those first few games doing by committee. Look, and now I want to preface that by saying I would love to see a Blue end up as your. I still think Blue's going to be your Lightning to Javonte Williams, the Thunder. He's the power, and you got your speed right here in Blue. So I kind of want to see how we use Zeke and Tony Pollard. I really want to see the bell cow, and then when you need a lot That's what I want to see. I don't want to waste another 3 to 4 games trying to let everybody get the ball.
Right.
It's just not successful. I
Yeah.
do not like running back by committee. So get out there, let Javonte start running. And here's the thing, use the pass to open the run. We have such great pieces on both outsides. Then you've got Ferguson in the middle. You got Turpin if you want to get a little fancy. We have so much firepower when it comes to wide receivers. Use the pass. It will open the run because they're going to have to cover. They have to stay honest. They have to be honest when it comes to the people that we have on an outside. This isn't, old man Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb. This is 2 young men that are both very, very good.
Yeah.
And then, so you can't double both of them. If you do, you're going to leave someone open. So I really want to see them use the pass to open the run and then pound the ball. Run the dang ball.
Yeah. Jeff brings up another great point. We talked about George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. You're probably going to have Turpin out wide as the Z. And Vic Fangio, I don't know if you guys are familiar with his defense. He loves to run a cover 2 look. So he loves playing his safeties 15 yards deep, both of them, because he believes in keeping everything downhill. So just like Jeff says, they run a lot of nickel. So you're only going to have 6 in the box. Both of those safeties are going to be deep. So that box is going to be relatively light. And those safeties will not be able to come down and help because you got CD, you got Turpin, and you got Pickens keeping them honest. So definitely going to be some opportunities out there. But great point by the Lunatic. Fourth quarter with no preseason play, football shape will be tested.
I think the Eagles set their entire team too, right? I don't think Jalen or anybody rolled out there, if I recall.
I think they played the first game against the Bengals.
Did they?
I think they played like maybe a drive or 2. But outside of that, no. And they didn't, to be honest, they didn't look good.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, they got to Joe Burrow, but I mean, that offensive line is awful. But outside of that,
I
Burrow
could get
just
to Joe
carved him
Burrow.
up. Yeah.
I could get to Joe.
All right, so let's get back into our over-unders. We got a couple more left. So Amanda just talked about the bell cow. Let me get you guys' thoughts. So over under 40 yards rushing combined for the other 2 running backs. You got Miles Sanders in a revenge game against the Eagles. And then you got the rookie Jaden Blue, 4.3 speed, as our 3rd running back. Both of these guys are explosive backs. Do we see a bell cow situation, or do we see all of them contribute to the run game? Let me know. Over under 40 yards combined for both of these backs. Everybody's saying over. Everybody's optimistic about Blue. Jeff saying Blue will break one as our new shiny toy. The Lunatic saying Blue could take one to the house on a swing pass. Both of those things are true if they play. Ashley saying over as well. To be honest, I'm concerned whether or not Blue is active for this game. I know that's crazy to say, but they gotta have 8 people inactive. You would assume they're gonna go deep at corner because you don't know if Diggs is gonna be on snap count or not.
And they just signed Lupke, so they're going to put him. You're not signing someone and paying him that, and then leave it, and not playing him.
Exactly.
I guess you could look around and see where they're going to. I mean, maybe leave one of your wideouts out because you can.
They can't leave a wide. They only have 5, Amanda.
Oh, mate. Well, I was thinking with Turpin. Do they have Turpin marked as a returner or a wideout?
I mean, I don't know, but they only have 5 receivers.
Okay. Yeah,
if we had 6 or 7, I would say we can take an inactive from that group, but we only have 5 active on the roster. All 5 of them are going to be active.
That DT room, maybe Mozzie will be inactive.
That's a good point because Winfrey just got hurt, so that's one of your.
Yeah, I was about to say Winfrey. That's one person down. So that room is so insanely, massively large.
Yeah.
The DT room.
I
Is
don't know where
Winfrey
the
playing?
inactive's going to come from. Now that I think about it, James Houston, maybe.
I don't know. He played too well during preseason. I just don't. Man,
We'll find out tomorrow. But
I hope it's Mozzie. Give him a good lesson. That's hateful.
It's an interesting conversation, but we'll find out early. But seriously, we got to have 8 inactives. Where are the 8 coming from?
Ooh, I don't know.
Shamar James may be an inactive. 1, 2. Well, Shamar James or Damone Clark, one of the two.
Let's see.
I think they have to go deep at corner. So I think every corner we got is going to be active.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And see, and that's the thing with Blue's also your backup kick returner.
Oh, he is.
Isn't he? Isn't he your backup KR? Lunatic brought it up. I think that's right. Isn't Blue the backup to Turpin on the kick return?
Okay. I thought Tolbert was the backup punt returner. Okay, the Lunatic says Blue is a backup kick returner. Blue says 2 offensive linemen. But can you do 2 offensive linemen when you have Guyton?
Oh. Well, they're not going to put Nathan out. We already know that.
Nathan's definitely not out.
Nathan's not out.
Maybe Sadiq Charles.
Man, that's an interesting conversation. We're going to have to look at this because I don't know what they're going to do.
We'll find out tomorrow. But
every time you say tomorrow, I remember we play football tomorrow. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's right. We're playing football.
Right.
Well, Will's your emergency. He's never active. That's
that's true.
He's your third. He's your emergency quarterback.
No, we didn't sign Will.
Well, who's our third?
I don't think
we don't have what?
Let me check. I'm almost sure we didn't sign Will Greer back to the roster.
Wait a minute.
No, we didn't.
So who the heck's our what?
I think Will Greer's on the practice squad, so he'll probably be a practice squad call up. Like I'm looking at Trevor Keegan. I don't know who that is. He's a guard. So he probably being active. Winfrey, that's 2. I'm looking at the corners. Maybe one of these new guys. We'll count one of them as 3. On the Cowboys official depth chart, Wanye Thomas is listed as the backup kick returner.
Huh. Man.
And Tolbert's listed as the backup punt returner.
Then Blue might be inactive.
Blue might be inactive tomorrow. Because I know, and I know I'm going down a rabbit hole. I just thought about this and I was curious. Maybe a Johnny Cornelius could be inactive. Maybe. Because you got Adeniji and you got Nathan Thomas. So, that's still only 4. You still got to find 4 more inactives. So, you may not get to see Blue tomorrow, but if you do you think they're going to get over 40? Russell says under. Got a lot of overs. Sanders should be healthy.
I believe Sanders is healthy. Sanders, I guess they could choose between Sanders and Blue, but Blue got injured in that last preseason game, so he's kind of more likely to see the inactive list. Yeah.
Jeff says use Miles for his knowledge.
He ain't played for Philly in a really long time, though.
That's true. That's 3 coaching staffs ago.
But he might be really wanting to get revenge.
Yeah.
That might be, you might want to make sure he's active. Because they cut him when they decided not to pay him. And they sent him to Siberia. Poor guy.
Yeah, I see everybody kind of helping out with inactives. Yeah, Keegan's definitely going to be inactive. Cornelius will probably be inactive. Jeff says put the punter in active. Go for it on 4th down.
Oh, my.
The Lunatic says
Dan Campbell.
We need 3 running backs. You can't have 3 running backs and Lepke. That's the problem. You got to find 8 inactives. Where do you get them from? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we only have 5 receivers on the active roster. You're not making any of them inactive. So yeah. Um,
I
I
will be
guess
right
we'll
back.
just pay attention tomorrow and find out. But I wouldn't be shocked if Blue is inactive tomorrow. I wouldn't like it, but just looking at the numbers game, he may be inactive. And the lunatic brings up a great point. Lepke may count in the tight end room. That's a great point. He could count in the tight end room, but then that would give you 4 tight ends. I don't know if teams normally carry 4 tight ends in a game. I would assume they probably do. So that's a great point. But you still got to find 8 people, and I can only see 4 just doing a early preliminary look. All right, let's continue on with the over unders. We got 2 more left with an hour 20 minutes. So the next over under 1.5 sacks for our pass rushing room. I brought up the stat earlier in the show that the last time we played the Eagles, we had 5 sacks. Now, 2 of those sacks came from Micah, and 2 of those sacks came from Overshown, and 1 came from Osa. So between Fowler, Ezaraku, Nealon, Sam Williams, and James Houston, can these guys generate more than 1.5 sacks? Let me know what you guys think. We got a lot of optimism tonight when it comes to these stats. The lunatic says over easy, and Jeff Pop says over. Let me know what you guys think. Jeff Pop says Hurts holds onto the ball too long. Are you guys in the same room or something? Because you said the same thing back to back. All right, Ashley with the over. Jeff says over. We get 5 again. Mark Cruz, you've been kind of on the island with the unders so far this show. So Amanda, you brought this one up earlier in the show. You said Fowler gets 1.5
1.5 by
himself.
himself. Yeah.
So I'm
Over.
assuming you're going over with this one.
Over. I want to rock and roll and ruin a banner raising. That is my goal.
We got a lot of overs in the comments. I'm gonna see what these game predictions look like because there's a lot of overs. Russell Dyer says Philly has a good line. That's a good point. But Jeff says it's not the same.
Not at
we
all.
just talked about they lost Mekhi Becton. Landon Dickerson's coming off an injury. So it's gonna be a little bit of shuffling going on with the offensive line. Hope it's a close game, but talent-wise, we can't deny who's much better. And Jack Mika saying it's gotta be over. All right, so man, I already know your thoughts on this one. You definitely say it's over.
Jeff is on it, y'all.
Jeff has been saying this for weeks. He tells me
I
this every
agree with
day.
him. If you remember, when we first did our breakdown of the season, me and Jeff said we are hanging this on a win. I'm a little more not as zealous anymore because of the past week.
Yeah.
But hey.
All right, let's move to our last over-under of the show, and then we'll get out of here. Now, the last over-under is usually an either or. So the last over-under, which wide receiver tandem has more receiving yards in this week's game? Let me know which tandem you think has more receiving yards. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb or A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? Let me know in the comments. Cowboys or Eagles? Which tandem has more receiving yards? Jack Meeker, that's an interesting point. When I saw that, I was thinking, like, when we got Micah, he was an Eagles fan. I mean, he grew up in the Philly area and he went to Dallas. And now we've got the same thing with Ezaraku.
But I don't. Did he grow up a Cowboys fan? I wish I knew that. I wonder if he grew up an Eagles fan.
No, just somebody that grew up in Eagles country that came to Dallas. because I think Micah's house is like an hour from the stadium, and Ezaraku said his house is like 10 minutes from the stadium.
Yeah.
But he did grow up an Eagles fan, though, unlike Micah. Everybody's saying Cowboys, so we got a lot of optimism again.
I'm on the Jeff train, though, with its Pickens coming out party.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I think that CD and George both are going to be very unselfish.
Uh-huh.
I think they're going to be very selfless in this because they know if one succeeds, the other will too. Because one big play from Pickens on one side, he's going to draw more attention. CD's going to pull it on the other side.
Yeah.
And exactly, Smith and Brown aren't healthy. Thanks. Spot on.
We haven't done game predictions yet, continuous. We're just talking statistics. So since continuous does bring that up, let's go ahead and talk about our last segment of the show, and that is our game predictions. But before we do that, let's give some of our keys to victory. So I think Jack Meeker asked the question earlier, what are the 3 keys to us winning this game? So when I look at this game, they're all based around Eberflus. Number 1, we have to keep this team in 3rd and long situations. They have the most unstoppable play in the NFL. If they're within 3rd and 2, you know what they're going to do. And they're going to do it twice. So you have to keep them in 3rd and 4 or longer situations, or they're going to keep converting first downs with the quarterback push plays. We got to protect the edges on the defense. Sam Williams, to me, has a lot of brain farts when it comes to containing on the outside. And Saquon Barkley is the type of running back that he's going to take advantage of every running lane. So you can't see him looking like he's running a dive play and you crash in, or he'll do a spin or a juke and he'll be outside on the edge running for 40. That's where most of his runs come from. People breaking contain and him breaking to the outside. So our defensive ends have to stay disciplined to keep him in the pocket. Going back and watching last year's game, one of the reasons we were able to contain Saquon Barkley is because they made a concerted effort to protect the edges when it comes to him running, and they kept him contained inside. And that leads into the last one. You got to limit the Eagles' big plays. Several people made the point that if you keep the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands for long enough, bad things will happen. He holds the ball too long. He will take a sack. He will throw an errant throw. So if you limit the big plays and make them move down the field slowly, that gives you just the extra opportunity for Jalen Hurts to make a mistake. And if you watch a bunch of the games from last year, there were a lot of teams that people consider bad teams that stayed very competitive with them because they tried to make Jalen Hurts win the game, and he made some errant throws and took some costly sacks. Any keys to victory you want to add to that, Amanda? Anything stand out?
My biggest key is if you can stop Saquon and make Jalen beat you, you will win this football game.
Yeah.
Jalen has not successfully beat this team when it comes to doing it on his own. And if you look, I really do think that's the key. Make Jalen Hurts beat you. I'm sorry, Saquon Barkley carried them to a Super Bowl last year. It's just.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts had a great Super Bowl, but he wasn't the one that got him there.
He did, but he wasn't the one who got him there. That's correct. So that's my things. Isolate Saquon, make Jalen beat you.
All right, guys. Last segment of the show is game predictions. So put your predictions in the comments right now. I'm only starting from right now. So I know Jeff Pop and the Lunatic put their comments on the screen quite a few times. But starting right now, put your game predictions in the comments. and the only do one. The first person who gets the closest, if there's a tie, I go with the first person. But we go by who gets the closest. And we go by total points. So if you put 24-17 and the score is 26-20, that's 5 points off. So whoever gets their gets closest wins the jersey. We will announce the jersey next Wednesday. We play the Giants next week, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you joining us for that week too? I know you like to do rivalry games.
I like to do the rivalry games.
Okay. All right. So Amanda will be joining us again next week for the Giants game, and we will announce the winner of that that second overshown jersey.
Oh, hold on one second. Continuous. I would love to see your ring that the NFL sent you. Do you have a ring the NFL sent you? I do. I don't have it on me, but I do have it. It came straight from the people that make the Super Bowl rings. Keep women out of football. Sorry. I just always find it funny. Typical. I think you froze. Or did you freeze, Marcus?
No, I'm here. I was just reading the comments.
I just find it funny.
All right. Jeff, 34-21 Cowboys. Russell Dyer, 24-17 Philly. Mark Cruz must be an Eagles fan, or he just hates himself as a human being. Now 56-3 Philly. The Lunatic, 31-28 Philly. Okay. A lot. Well, based off of the comments there, I would say there's a lot more Cowboys than I thought, but it seems like you guys are pretty optimistic.
I've got a really close game. I think it's going to be a really close game, and it'll go either way.
Okay. So what's your score? You got a score in mind?
I'm really on the 27-24 fence, but it could go either way.
I was thinking 27-23. That was my score.
I'm really on that 27-24 fence, but it could really go either way because, like the Lunatic just said, we have a weapon they do not have. I mean, if we could get it at 60 yards out, you can go for it. So,
I know we've done a lot of talk on this show, but is there one thing that you can see the Cowboys do that would make you feel more confident in the win?
I would, even if we lose, if we can stop the run, I will feel much better about the season, even if we lose. But I would like to see good situational football because that's where McCarthy struggled.
Yep.
Like it's very Dan Campbell-esque. I mean, no one's quite as bad as Dan Campbell, but that's my complete thought process on it is situational football, good play calling wins games. So that's what I want to see.
Yeah. I'm right there along with you. I don't know what to expect offensively. We talked about this earlier in the show. We didn't see Pickens in the preseason. We didn't see Javonte Williams in the preseason. According to Schottenheimer, we didn't see any of their play calling in the preseason. Didn't see Jake Ferguson on defense. Didn't see Fowler. None of our what we expect to be our starting corners played. So we got a lot of question marks. So I got to see how it all comes together this first game. I'm really just personally, I still feel like it's going to be an Eagles win. But what I want to see out of this game is those guys I just kind of named. I want to see what they look like. This is really like it's almost like a third preseason game for me, where I don't really care about the score. I just want to see what guys can do when they actually put the pads on.
Yeah, I always hate not playing any of your starters in the preseason. I understand the process and the mindset behind it. I just don't like not playing them because you tend to start slower.
Right.
So like you said, I mean, even if we lose, there are things that you can take away that really give you optimism moving forward.
Yeah. Like normally I don't mind not playing certain guys, but when you've got a guy you just added to the team and you have not seen him on the team with shoulder pads and helmet on, I kind of want to see that guy, especially if it's not like a household name.
Yeah.
There's no reason Javonte Williams shouldn't have played at all. Dante Fowler, George Pickens for a drive.
Maybe they were afraid Milton would get hurt.
That's a good point. All right, guys, that's pretty much all we have for this week's show. Let's see, run the ball efficiently, avoid the penalties. Shotty's play call and the way he attacks. You want to see Steele hold up. We didn't see Steele in the offseason either. That's a good point as well. Definitely hurt us bad in Philly last year, but we don't have to see those pass rushers they had last year, so maybe that helps. All right, so that's pretty much all we have for this week's show. First episode of the season. I think it went great. Obviously, we won't have a pregame show because the game's tomorrow night. But going forward, we will have a pregame show every Sunday before the game where we will do our injury report and we'll do fantasy favorites. And then we'll also bring back our bowl predictions as well as when we normally do our game predictions. But until then, you can catch us every Wednesday night, 8:30 Central Standard Time for the Fifth Quarter Podcast. Keys to victory, over, under, X factors, all the great segments that you love. We'll be here every Wednesday, giving you all the Cowboys news, notes, and content. Thank you guys for joining. The views were consistent all night. We got to get those people on X to either join us on YouTube or Facebook because I would love to hear what you guys have to say about all the things we're talking about. So people on X, please join us so you can get in these comments and let us know your thoughts. Before we go, Amanda, any last words before we get out of here?
Make sure you're following on DC Frail. Make sure you hop over and follow Bluff City on Facebook. And once those YouTube channels both get up, because the Facebook pages is great, but we want to build the YouTube platform too. So make sure you get over there and we're going to get that full-size autographed helmet away. So got to get us up to 1,000. The DC Frail page is pretty slow because we never used it until we started. And Marcus, I'm not sure where you're at, but both of them hit 1,000 full-size helmet autographed. There's plenty of us. There's 93,000 on the DC Frail page. It should be a no-brainer. Y'all go follow. Go follow the YouTube so we can get up and give this helmet away. I got it stashed, so I need to give it away.
Yes, I see we got an Eagles fan who came in.
I know.
Came at the last minute. I'm not paying attention to that.
I know. I just find it funny because they see on the YouTube and they don't even realize what the page in the group is. I always find it entertaining.
Exactly. And then he said, I only have 2 people watching on YouTube, and there's way more people than that watching on YouTube.
I know. I'm looking at the numbers. That's what's funny.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Hey, they got to do something. They need some attention. So it is what it is.
Right. And the crazy thing is, I don't know any Cowboys fan who go on Eagles podcast and do stuff like that.
I don't either. I don't pay attention to what the Eagles
are
doing. I always find it entertaining, to say the least. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. As always, appreciate you joining us. Looking forward to a great game tomorrow night. And as always, let's go Cowboys. And let me say this before he said my algorithm brought me here. Again, my algorithm has never took me to an Eagles podcast.
Amen.
So I thought this was about the birds, and everything on this page has blue and stars. Okay. All right. Blue Eagles podcast. Got you. All right. So before we go, guys, thank you again for watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope to see you guys back next week, 8:30 Central Standard Time, for another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. And as always, let's go Cowboys. We'll see you guys next week.